Hello, I am Arez, and this is War on Maps. This is part 2 of the What If Every Country Went to War? So, yes, this time, just to jump right into it. So, beginning with the invasion of San Marino. But San Marino doesn't stand a chance, so pretty easily capitulates. And now we're just gonna get San Marino into Italian hands. And now Italy is looking to get some stuff on the Albanian Sea, like they were promised in World War One. So they invade a lot of countries at the same time, but they have the capabilities too. So first they make a landing in Montenegro, capture it very easily, and then advance through Slovenia and then Croatia. And also the naval landing is also advancing. And then finally the countries are capitulated and sign peace. So in the peace treaty, which I'm drawing right now, there is full annexation of all those countries. So after annexing all of them, Italy is now, so now that's it with Italy. Now Italy has had its share of the video. Now let's just talk about a new unification between Sweden and Norway. Now this is now looking a lot more like Sweden. So after getting united and all that stuff, they are now a pretty powerful country. Yeah, all those countries were really strong. So now that there's all of them combined, that is pretty strong. So, but now Germany is gonna invade. Germany is again has to have its own share of the video, is invading Czechoslovakia. I'm just calling it that because they were that and they are unifying. So after unifying, and that Poland does not like, so they join on their side, and they also unify with them, and it's still going to be called Poland, so don't get confused with that. So now Poland is a really strong country. Not that the carrier of that was Poland, and there's also all the Russian equipment in Kaliningrad. But now let's see that. And also, I forgot to do this, but there's also the unification of the Netherlands and France. So after that, France joins on Poland's side, but Germany gets the help of Italy, who wants to retake Sardinia from the French. And Switzerland is just trying its best to stay neutral in this conflict. because it's Switzerland. As we all know, that is a very neutral country. So the UK joins on this because of the alliance with France. And Serbia and North Macedonia and Albania all join on Germany's side because they're afraid they might get invaded by Italy if they don't. So yeah, so it does seem like an obvious victory, but there's going to be a bunch of other stuff that will happen in here that is unexpected. So first, because this is a surprise, German troops advance through Czechia and Slovakia and take over Czechoslovakia pretty easily. And at the same time, though, there's the French are invading the Rhineland, but Germany has it pretty militarized up, and now British troops are arriving in a naval landing on the Danish peninsula. And speaking of the Danish, they're joining on blue team because they want to regain control of the Danish peninsula because that's what they're named after. But that's what it's named after. So, yeah, but because of the Italian joining, the Italians are now pushing into France while also making a naval landing in Sardinia, but still that it was recently annexed by France, so France does have a lot of military strength on there, especially because it established a base in Corsica, so the military can very easily get to Sardinia. And speaking of naval landings, the Danish are supplying this one, so it's nearly getting all of Italy's coast, and Poland manages to push Germany out of Slovakia, but couldn't push more to Czechia. Also, the Germans were able to push back the French, and the French were able to push back the Italians. And yeah, so that after that, there's going to be more joiners in here. And those joiners are Hungary going on red team and Bulgaria going on red team. So now it's a bit more difficult for Poland, but because it's a surprise, they push into Slovakia and capture it. So yeah, the Eastern Front is mostly red team, the Northern Front is mostly blue team, and the Western Front is just tied. And now there's also a new addition to the blue team, and that is the Nordic Union. And they are all sending soldiers to capture this coast and sending soldiers to capture this coast. So now Germany has no more coasts. And now Poland managed to push back into Hungary. And it really is just Poland is really just looking for a way to get rid of all the Balkan countries because they're contributing a lot. The Italians are now able to push the French back, but the French pushed them back in Sardinia and made a naval landing on Sicily. And with Italy and with that, France was distracted and the Germans were able to push in and reconnect to the coast and also take the port of Rotterdam and isolate the Netherlands. Not that all the troops there couldn't escape. There's Britain literally right there. So they all eventually escape, but that's not without losing a humongous port that Germany now has control of. And now with that, Greece decides to join on blue team because the Allies bribed them to do it, to open a front over here. and that really distracted them, and North Macedonia was capitulated, so was Albania. And this was an easy way to make naval landings along the boots of Italy, and also the French captured all of Sicily, but at the cost of losing some land inside their homeland. The right team got one more minor power to join their side, and that was Spain. But then Portugal joined in, and so did Morocco. So the Spanish are going to be kind of busy, but still they're powerful enough to take care of them in a tiny bit. So now the Axis powers are just plain defensive. So yeah, except for a small offensive that was used to push the Poles back to their border, and the Poles are now pushing to Serbia, and so are the Greek. Yeah, I guess. So after nearly capturing all of Serbia, there's a stalemated border, but over here, Bulgaria was surrounded, and the Black Sea and its coast was captured. So really, Bulgaria has surrendered. So, and then Serbia was to follow, but now Italy decided to abandon everything over there and focus and everything in France to focus on just holding on to the Italian peninsula and Sicily, which they did successfully. And now in the Spanish are very easily sweeping through Portugal, and the country surrenders, and then made some naval landings along all of Morocco's populated areas and encircled a large army that surrendered, and Morocco surrendered. So now the Spanish can start distracting the French, but the British said they take care of them if you can take care of Germany. So that's what they're doing. So British, there's a naval landing. There's a lot of naval landings along the Spanish coast, and also a naval landing near the capital of Portugal, and also the capital of Morocco, and then, yeah, so after that, and after the complete liberation of Portugal, the naval landings managed to link up, and then a blockade was insisted to stop any more Spanish trade from reaching anywhere. But it's not that there aren't any big economies here. Like Israel is a big economy, Turkey is a big economy. So yeah, they do have some people to trade with at least. They can also trade with Italy. Not that these islands are in the way in some sort of naval blockade on them, and not that Greece is also doing a naval blockade to stop any trade with Africa. Yeah, totally not happening right now. So yeah, after all that, the Portuguese, with British help, are pushing all the way around the Spanish coast and take it over. And then Spain surrenders, meaning that destruction is over. But because of the destruction, Italy was able to push the Allies out of itself, and also Germany was able to push up to the base of the Danish peninsula and make a naval landing near Stock. What was the capital there? Oh well, whatever. So they made it next to the Swedish capital, captured the Danish capital, and eventually took over all of Denmark. Then made landings on these Estonian islands, took Kaliningrad, and pushed to isolate the Baltics. and Poland is looking not so good. But at least south it's going a bit better. As the Allies are re-pushing into Italy. And also Romania is joining on the blue team's side. And Switzerland was unfortunately forced into this war by an invasion from Germany, just so they could get a better supply line to Italy. But of course, it's Switzerland. You can never, ever like defeat the Swiss military. And now the French are helping them push back. And also linked up with the other southern front to completely isolate Germany and Italy from each other. And then Hungary surrendered. Germany decided to protect itself by withdrawing all troops except for those in there. And also made a naval landing on Estonia. But the Poles now were able to get rid of this and reconnect their supply to the Baltics. So now they're very well. The naval landing failed, and now the Nordic countries are now pushing out of there and then liberating Copenhagen and Denmark. So now nobody finds any reason in continuing to fight. So everybody just goes to peace, and the peace deals. Really, only one country got what they wanted. And that was Denmark. Let's go. Nope. Let's do that again. So Denmark gets some land out of Germany in the Danish peninsula. And yeah, that's pretty much all what everybody got. So yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, so let's make everybody neutral again. Nope. Let's just go back to So let's keep going back to the very beginning of this war. So yeah, now let's unify Poland with them, because Poland got that. Let's go give Denmark what they fought for. And that is land in the Dane to regain full control of the Danish peninsula. And yeah, so now they have full control of the Danish peninsula. So now it's looking a lot more historic Denmark. And that's all that's gonna happen. Yeah, that's all that's gonna happen. So boom. So this will be, actually no, let's keep doing this. And then so now everybody is war torn. I don't think anybody would think of invading somebody else when everybody is exhausted from war. I wonder if anybody would do that. That'd just be so cruel. But yes, somebody is actually going to do that. And that is Russia. They are invading Poland. And there's a lot of countries that don't like that, like Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and the Nordic Union. So Russia has a pretty consolidated front, and also Georgia and Azerbaijan want to join that. And it's not like there's this in all these videos there was a major war going on between China and India and Pakistan. Totally not happening. That totally was not happening this entire time. There was totally no major South Asian war happening both these parts. Well, guess what? There was. So really, it's basically China versus India. And these two are not on the same team. They're just each fighting their own war because I want, I'm not going to focus on the Russian one. I'm going to focus on the Indian one. So now, the beginning is India taking Islamabad, Pakistan surrenders, and then China pushing into Bhutan and also taking its claims of this chunk of India. Also, and then India pushes in and isolates Myanmar and also captures most of the country. And Vietnam is able to capture Cambodia, and Thailand is able to capture Laos. So, and now there's a naval landing on this island. Not that that's going to go successful because they get pushed back right away. And the Chinese are going to push right into Vietnam. And then eventually there's a stalemate border. India then liberates Bhutan. And this war is going to go on for like 3 more parts. But that's going to be, this is part 2 of every country has to go to war once. So, yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe to War on Maps. It really helps me out. So, see you next time. Bye.